Hey everyone, welcome to this week's edition of the Polyhedra Show. I'm Sam Pearden, Chief Marketing Officer of Polyhedra. Happy New Year. Hope everyone had a safe and happy holidays. And I'm joined today by my great friend and CTO and co-founder of Polyhedra, TC. How you doing, TC?
Hi, Sam. Happy New Year. I'm great.
Happy New Year, brother. Great to see you. How's your New Year been so far?
It's great.
Awesome, man. So I
Uh,
wanted to, yeah, sorry, go on.
yeah, go on.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, no, we worked on publishing, our 2026 kickoff blog. So, I wanted to kind of go through, and take our community, a bit deeper into our thought process for 2026. So, um, for people hearing about it for the first time, how do you explain ZKML in one sentence?
It is the identity card of AI agent, and you can trace everything the agent do is doing online with ZKML.
Very, very cool. The next question, why was it important for Polyhedra to build a layer one specifically for verifiable AI rather than adapting existing chains?
Well, existing chains, I would say they generally lack the ability to verify complex zero knowledge proofs. Um, and I don't think they'll adapt their chain for any kind of this specific application. So that's why
Mhm.
we're running our own stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, very cool. No, thanks for explaining that. I get asked that a lot by DMs and whatnot by guys in our community. So there it is, guys, from TC himself. Next one, back to ZKML, and this is a really, this is something that I'm very excited about. ZKML is a term people hear a lot. What problem does it really solve in plain English?
Hmm. The problem is it solves the issue that for example, it solves the issue that we don't know which model is replying to you in a conversation. For
Mm.
example, if you use any online model, so for if you're using for example OpenAI, they claim that they are using ChatGPT 5.2, but who knows? They may be using a weaker model. They may be using a malicious one, or you never know. And it happens to some companies that they are trying to use a weaker quantized model to save money, and the result is way it is way worse than expected. So it solves this kind of issue, and it provides you the ability to verify that some specific cut action is taken by some specific model. And in this way, you can have a identity card for the model. So any action the model take online will be recorded, and there is a hard evidence that okay, this model really did this specific thing. And if it's committed crime online, you will be able to trace who is doing who is doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. And this leads on to the next question that you just kind of touched on then. Why is verification becoming critical as AI systems start making real decisions and moving value?
Yeah, I think I answered the question in Q4, right? In the last
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, no, I'll just elaborate here. I mean, I see, I've been having issues. I mean, I even asked you yesterday, like, what what models, what providers are you using? Because I'm noticing the quality of my outputs on certain LLMs. I just, you know, seem weaker or seem not as detailed as the information I'm trying to get out of them. So, you know, when we initially started exploring verifiable AI, I was I was, you know, I really got the need for this in security kind of areas in fintech and health, you know, in robotics and kind of anything autonomous like cars, for instance. But yeah, you know, honestly, I'd love to be able to check on the models that I'm using, you know, because obviously I have AI so ingrained in my workflows now. You know, I want to know that I'm getting what I pay for, especially when you know there is quite large fees for just using the best models in market at the moment. So yeah, I just wanted to put my 2 cents in there, and yeah, I appreciate your answer of that last question. I'm moving on to Flash.
Yeah.
You know, we're both super excited about. You know, we launched the mainnet alpha at the end of 2025. Why was it important for you to get that live before 2026?
It, it reached a stage that we think we can launch the mainnet alpha, and it's where we get very important data on performance and on the bug on the system bug. We can debug it. Before the launch, we really don't know how would the larger scale, I mean, application of this code behaves. So, for example, in our initial testing, we only have like at most hundreds of transactions, and we really don't know the performance characteristics and there may be hidden bugs. And after this Christmas launch, we finally have some insight about how do we optimize and debug the system. It's really important to us uh, to get this thing widely used. Yeah.
Awesome. And how many transactions? I know you're the man behind the transactions. Approximately how many transactions have been made on mainnet alpha so far?
So far, it's 60,000 transactions.
Very cool.
Yeah, and we have already seen some potential issues. For example, the syncing process is very slow, and there is a new patch that solves this issue, and the storage consumption is very high, I think.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are working
Okay.
on this kind of issues. It's really important. Uh, it's very important and precious data, and I really appreciate that all the community members contribute to this data. Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
important.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks everyone. You know, 60,000 in a few weeks. That's cool. You know, but we're just getting started. So, you know, onto that, what gap does Okash fill that existing payment or stablecoin systems don't?
Oh well, existing payment stablecoin system on the chain, they don't have privacy. They don't, or some systems they do have privacy, but they are fully private, so malicious users can use it. We're kind of sitting in the middle where private for innocent people and it's not private for criminals. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. And I guess that leads on to the next one. You know, how do privacy and compliance coexist in Okash rather than being trade-offs?
Yeah, I think it solves the question in one sentence is private
Yeah.
for innocent people, not
Yeah, I
private
like that.
for criminals.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's, you know, and that's the same in what traditional finance offers.
Yeah,
You know, but stable coins are so much better. I was having to
it's
do some payments back to Australia in cash today using, you know, Wise. And I think Wise is a good business compared to, you know, the bigger banks, but it's still super expensive, super slow. Well, you know, still 16 hours for the money to hit.
Uh,
It's not great. You know what I mean? And I think Wires is the best solution that I've found for fiat transfers. PayPal's
PayPal
insane. Is
kind
like,
of
yeah. I mean, PayPal are just great business by Thiel and Elon and all those guys. What a crew! But man, I mean, the exchange rate that you get for sending money, you know, in different currencies, how expensive the fees are, you know, like stable coins are so great, but there's, I'm hoping that Okash can help traditional finance. I think, and I do believe that stable coins, I mean, we've seen all the data of everyone talking about wanting to, create their own stable coins, insert USC, DC, blah, blah, blah. I see so many legs of Okash playing a huge part in that, because I think, privacy needs to be there for innocent people. Anyways, that has stopped my ranting. Why is Okash particularly important for AI agents and automated systems?
it's I think it's than much simpler than classical payment system. And it's important for AI because due to simplicity. Because AI, I mean, if they're doing tool calling, okay, they will get confused by very complex API. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's more transparent in a way that everything is on chain, and
yeah,
with your private key, you kind of have full control over your asset. Uh, I think that's more important. That's very important. So
yeah. No, that makes sense.
the thing is simple, and the state is very simple, and you have full control over your own data. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thanks, man, for sharing that. What should developers and builders pay attention to from Polyhedra this year?
Well, Okash SDK and the ZKML stuff is the most important thing
Yeah,
in this year.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome. Um, I think the last question for this round, man, just going through it, what gives you confidence that we can execute this year? I think, last year we
Well,
obviously last year was a crazy year.
it was
You
crazy,
know,
and
yeah,
we fight. We did a lot of change. We kind of lay off a lot of people, and right now at the moment, I think the coding stuff is pushing forward. Finally, I mean, it's in a very fast pace.
yeah,
Uh, Also, it's thanks to the AI development. I mean, AI helps us a lot in daily work. Yeah, I think we can. I'm trying to reshape the whole company, that reduce the number of people to around 10 people, and trying to make everybody be an expert of AI, and everything will be much more smoother.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, my workflow from the marketing standpoint has changed dramatically with AI. You know,
Mhm.
it's great. I mean, it's like,
Yeah, my workflow changes a
um,
lot.
yeah, yeah, it's been a very interesting year of adapting, and also, from my side, also restructured things. But yeah, we're very confident on the kind of crew that we have, and yeah, I think we're looking at businesses. I mean, if you look at, say, Lovable in Sweden, who are the vibe coding business, I think they only have about 40, 50 staff, 6.6 billion valuation. It's just insanity, but all those people are very, very high quality characters, from my experience anyway. But anyways, man, it's cool. It's cool to get, some insight into your operational side for the community. All right. A few community questions before we go today. Um, The first one was 2025 was tough for the token, but very active for the team. On a personal level, what honestly kept you pushing forward?
Well, we cannot beat by those stupid and malicious team. I don't like it. So the token is kind of disrupted by these teams, and I don't think the world works this way. I really don't like it. That's why we are trying to revive. Yeah, I really don't want to
Yeah.
see malicious team get to success, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we didn't, I mean, I think the token event for me, it obviously changed some things. It was a devastating, devastating kind of time in a way, but like we never stopped our goals on building. I mean, that's what I think. Just want to make sure everyone understands that it wasn't, the token didn't stop us from going, oh, we want to execute with Okash or verifiable AI, so nothing's really changed other than that we're more focused and more determined to create a great company. So, yeah, that's a great question. And that was from Leonardo. Thanks, Leonardo. And we'll do a couple more. This is from O2. Sorry. This is from J and Z. How will mobile support and DEX integrations change how people perceive and use Okash in 2026?
That's a great question. I mean, mobile support. I would say right now it's an age of mobile, right? Everybody use phone. Uh, I think 90% people would like to use or use it on a phone because Okash aims to be a payment system, and if you don't live on a phone, how do you pay to retails, right? It will change a lot if it will change a lot. It will so with phone support, it has the ability to be a day-to-day application, but without it, okay, you may only do it with crypto stuff, and you cannot use it as a payment system in a retail, in a restaurant, maybe grocery store, without, I mean, yeah,
Mm.
without a phone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that makes sense. One more here from Taze. I feel the relayer and protocol fees might stand as an obstacle in terms of mass adoption. Are there any plans to minimize the relayer and protocol fees?
Yeah, the it's basically gas fee. We're trying to minimize the gas fee by using multiple ways. For we optimize the algorithm, and I think with more use, the fee can be amortized more, flat way, in a better way. Uh, Two different directions. One is algorithm direction. The other one with more users, then the fee will naturally go down. Yeah.
No, very cool. Cool. And
Just
two more. We're going to do two more questions on ZKML from the community, and then one from Writers Hub, which was you've moved ZKML from theory toward real engineering. What was the busiest technical breakthrough that made this feel real in 2025?
I think it's a combination stuff. It's a combination of compiler technique and the real zero proof system techniques. So we have expander, but I think the bigger factor is we have a compiler compiles from whatever model to the circuit. Yeah, I think that's a big
Mm.
one.
And then I think this follows on nicely, and then we'll wrap up for today. But Overstan has written, I wanted to ask what's still the biggest blockade to maneuver before ZKML can be widely deployed in production systems.
Still performance issue. We still experiencing performance issue. It's let me tell you, it costs about hundreds of gigabytes of memory to prove the model, prove a smaller model. So we we're still facing this issue, and we are trying to solve it either by have a collaboration of multiple machines or just solve it in an algorithm way. Yeah, we can remove some overhead from it.
Is there going to be a time where, you know, that ZKML gets so efficient that, you know, if I'm using a model on my phone or something, I can just choose like a challenge switch or hit like a button to be able
It's,
to check in real time? Like what's the, or if I
I
have
think
a,
it's really hard to use it on a phone at the moment. You can use it
mm,
in a good personal computer.
yeah.
Uh, with phone, it's very hard. With personal computer, I think it's almost ready for a personal computer.
But you see in the future, you say 5, 10 years out, you know, when say we've got robots in our house, I have a robot in my house, I go out, walk the dog, I want to check if that model works, that model's been hacked or whatnot, you know, I've got kids around, you know, is there a kind of possibility that, you know, Polyhedra could be the layer that, you know, I hit the
Yeah, it's good.
robot to check the model?
Yeah, we are working all kinds of technologies around this problem, including the camera. The camera is the main focus, and I
Mm.
think one of the technology will succeed and they will be used, and I think hopefully it will be coming from implemented by us. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's very interesting. I mean, and will that be like, you know, will that be a product, say if it's say Tesla making the robots, you know, and you think that will be a compliance element, you know, like I don't know if you've seen, but recently there's been a lot of chatter on rogue AI, I think with the midterms coming up and Democrats really pushing this concept and kind of AI backlash. And the term rogue AI is I'm seeing it everywhere. Um, you know, would that be a developer tool that developers could take our stack and implement into that robot? You know, is it potentially that scalable?
Yeah, it will be a developer tool and
Right.
built into a robot, maybe built into a chip. Yeah, robot.
Well, I mean, that also answers the earlier question in more detail, why we're sticking around, you know, and why we're excited because, you know, like if we can have the breakthrough here, you know, we feel our technology is so necessary in the age of AI. So right on, TC, man. It's great to see you, brother. Really thank you to all the community. I think there's a couple of hundred on Twitter and YouTube and Discord, and yeah, it's great to have you guys here as always. And we'll see you again. We'll see you again next week.
See you.